Welcome back to another video, folks. I'm here at a farm in Leicester, North Carolina, dropping off the Keyline plow on a project that we did some design work and are going to have the pastures subsoiled here using the plow. So I'm going to walk you through some of the steps of that process as the project progresses along and take you on the back end of what it took to lay out the Keyline design here at this farm on this beautiful landscape here in Leicester, North Carolina. So the plow is off the trailer. Would have filmed it, but I was operating the tractor, and now it's ready and staged here for when the conditions are right for the tractor operator that we're hiring to come in and pull the implement through the pastures. It's a beautiful thing. So this farm for many years has had some cattle grazed on it, and half of it has been annually put to hay. But the new owner is interested in a rotational grazing pattern with higher stock density of cattle. And one of the first steps he was interested in taking with my assistance is getting these perennially compacted soils loosened up and get water flowing through the landscape better using a Keyline layout and using the implement to accomplish that. All right, just got finished putting down flags on the Keyline contour, and did so using this very simple tool a lot of folks may be familiar with. It's just an A-frame level constructed out of a little scrap wood we had, and it's going to be a little hard to show it filming, but essentially can drill a little level onto the horizontal board there, and from the starting place you've got these two legs and you got the level there, and you just pivot one leg until the bubble reads level, like so, more or less. And then, not picking up that leg, you pivot the back leg, find level, and just kind of walk it back and forth down the pasture like that. And you don't have to flag every single step. We did it every 3 pivots today to get this nice line. And this is just a guide for the tractor operator. We don't have to flag each pass. All you really need to do is flag the starting line based on the Keyline map, and then the operator can drive the tractor parallel to that initial plow as they work up the pasture. Now, it might be kind of hard to tell in the video, but right in here there's a little small divot that, as we were walking the level, kicked out a couple of these flags and wasn't really representative of the true contour as it maps on to the rest of the plot. So after first marking them, a couple of these flags were kicked uphill a bit just to meet the level at the increment that the tool allows for. And we walked back through, followed the flags down at the end, and just kind of kicked those irregularities back into line with the rest of the contour. So there's some wiggle room and some play as you're watching it unfold, but something to be aware of. You know, the level is super helpful, but you can trust your eyes and your senses too on what contour is more representative for the true Keyline of the area. So there's still some cows here being passively grazed by the fellow who's been running cows here for quite some time, and the property is split into 2 main pastures separated by this road. There's about 30 some acres up on the north side, and back in that corner there's really nice natural silvopasture development with large oak trees and nice pasture underneath, plenty of spacing between the trees, and then the rest of it being this landscape. And then up over here, the 15 acres that we're keylining in the near term is a south-facing slope, and the way we're doing this project is going to be in kind of 2 installments, where year 1 we're marking and subsoiling in this smaller more southern pasture, and then phase 2 will be getting the same thing done on this landscape as well, which I'm excited for the prospect of, because this will be a very interesting landscape for a Keyline project. So something about a lot of these somewhat rural areas that are just outside of Asheville is that there's a lot of development going up on farmland, mostly single family housing with little plots of land as backyards, and it's eating up historical farmland. I'm grateful to be working with a landowner on this project who, even though we're surrounded by a lot of these little developments, has no interest in turning this into anything like that or selling it to a developer. He's really committed to keeping it in some form of agricultural production, and I'm excited to watch this landscape evolve over time, both with the Keyline implement as well as with his intentional rotational grazing patterns that he's going to begin starting on here in the next couple years. So yeah, wanted to show you a little bit of some of the steps of this process and what it takes to get a Keyline design and subsoiling done on this plot of land here, and hope you enjoyed it. I wanted to show you a little bit of the background work that goes into this. This is just Google Earth, free platform for some pretty impressive mapping that you can do using different map layers that are easy to put on here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, if any, talking about the concepts of Keyline design or how to use Google Maps, Google Earth, because there's so many resources already out there. I don't want to be repetitive, but rather how, using those resources, I like to put together these maps for myself or for clients. So the first step I like to get comes from, in my area, pretty nice county-wide GIS programs that have downloadable data. Here we have the parcel, which is a layer that I can download and import online, and the 5-foot contour, which is also available in many counties in my area. In different places, you may have to purchase the map. In some places, it's not county-wide, it could be statewide or province, but generally, a lot of parts of the world have contour maps available that are in varying quality, but fortunate here to have reasonably good quality contour maps available. So using the contour and judging off of the parcel size and shape, I'll identify the Keyline, which in this northern pasture, which I talk about on the ground, is somewhere in here, the point where the valley takes a steep turn upwards and where the most water accumulates in a primary valley. And the Keyline is what we derive the whole pattern of cultivation off of, with the goal of even distribution of water from the wettest places, being the valleys on the farm, to the driest places, which are the ridges on the farm. And by subsoiling in this pattern, you can actually alter the course of water to get these wet spots and these dry spots to have a nice even distribution throughout the year. In the southern parcel, the layer ended up getting erased on Google Maps here, but I'll show you in the next program where it is. It comes down along here and is derived off of this valley coming up into the northern pasture. And from here, I can just take a screenshot of the map I've made. I just make the keyline by tracing the contour with a different color. And then I can go to Google Slides, which is also free with a Google account and is a pretty good free program for doing some basic map building. So from there, I take the map I made from Google and blow it up onto a slide that has a nice legend and all of the different specs that make a proper map. So this is the contour map with the keyline design on it. And then I can go back into Google, take a screenshot with the contours removed, and after tracing over in Google Slides on this sheet, then I can have a layer where the contour lines are removed, but I still have the nice clean map of where the keyline is. This map is somewhat of a visual representation of the derivative keylines as they move up the pasture off of that central pattern. But this is the most important map for the purposes of flagging the tractor route for the subsoiling. From here, I take a step-by-step tutorial through QGIS. I'll link a video to a really good guide on how to do that, where you turn a map like this, whether it's from Google or any kind of image, and you can turn it into a georeferenced PDF file, which you can upload onto an app called Avenza Maps, which has a free version that's quite useful. And then walking along the pasture, when I'm actually there on the ground, there's a little dot where me and my phone are that shows me where the starting point is and keeps me in line with this keyline that I mapped out. So pretty simple. It takes a bit of practice to get used to some of this mapping software, but as far as free softwares go, I really favor Google Earth and then some of the finer detail and aesthetic considerations for clients being done on Google Slides as a tool that's not intended for map making, but has a lot of tools to make it easy and useful in doing so.